Good evening, Falcons. Good to have you here at Stro Center tonight. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes, so we ask if everybody could matriculate to their seats. We're going to get the program started here very shortly. Thank you. Good evening, Falcons. So we ask you to have your seat. We're going to get started here in just a moment. Want to get everybody settled in. Another great night to be a Falcon. Good evening. My name's Todd Walker. I do men's basketball, football on the radio for Learfield and Falcon Sports Properties. I'll be your MC for tonight. It's a great honor to induct 4 individuals and a team to the BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame. And we also tonight have a special slideshow video as we recognize some of the greats that are already in the BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame. A lot of great memories watching those slides go through. Tonight is the Hall of Fame class of 2022, the 54th in department history. Individually, 3 former Falcons, a special contributor, and 1 team will be inducted. They will add to their legacies and the rich tradition of BGSU athletics, joining the ranks of the folks we saw on the screen there, some of the best to wear orange and brown. And we're excited tonight to induct John Bertie, Dr. Gene Campbell, Lauren Prohaska, Kerm Stro, and the 1972 men's indoor track and field team. Also, a reminder of folks will be watching on the live stream. Thanks to WBGU, we're streaming on YouTube. I want to welcome those folks watching from afar tonight. And with that, would also like to now welcome to the podium the 12th president of BGSU. Welcome, Dr. Rodney Rogers.
Thank you, Todd. It is certainly a pleasure to be here this evening to celebrate and to honor this year's inductees into the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame. While this evening inductees, as Todd mentioned, the Hall of Fame has totaled 248 honorees. Elite group of student athletes, coaches, and certainly supporters of BGSU athletics. And on behalf of Bowling Green State University, it's certainly my honor to offer my sincere congratulations to John Bertie, to Dr. Gene Campbell, Lauren Prohaska, Kerm Stro, and the 1972 men's indoor track and field team on this induction. You know, the 2022 class represents baseball, swimming and diving, women's basketball, indoor track, and 1 inductee who received a special inductee status because of his significant impact on BGSU athletics. The indoor track and field team is only the 4th full team to earn this honor in university's history, and notably finished runners-up nationally in 1972. The team has all kinds of greats, including Olympic gold medalist Dave Waddle, and of course Sid Sink and so many others. And so we're honored to honor the 72 team. Lauren had crowds roaring in Anderson, and set a BGSU career scoring record, make sure I get this right, 2,290 points, and is a two-time MAC Player of the Year. Lauren. Dr. Jean Campbell coached the swimming and diving team from 1966 to 77, was the Falcons' synchronized swimming coach from 1976 and 78, while also serving as a full-time faculty member. Under her direction, the Falcons won 5 Ohio State championships and 2 Midwest championships. And it should also be noted, all noted, while she was doing all that, she also completed a PhD here at Bowling Green State University in theater. In 1976, that was awarded. John Bertie hit a university record 423 batting average and was named BGSU's Male Athlete of the Year twice, 2 times. He made his major league debut with the Blue Jays in 2018 and has played the last 3 seasons with the Miami Dolphins. And right now, did I say the Dolphins? Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah. Marlins, sorry. Right now, though, here's what I'm getting to the punchline. He is the major league leader in stolen bases as we speak right now. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And of course, tonight we also honor someone who's had a profound impact on BGSU, and that's Dr. Kerm Stro, who recently passed on September 22nd. Kerm was an absolutely incredible man. He raised a wonderful family, many of who are with us tonight. He supported his communities. He certainly loved Bowling Green State University. I certainly will miss his very wise counsel, his advice, his passion, and he had a lot of advice and passion and a great sense of humor. He was beyond generous, because of the Stro family's philanthropic commitment. This facility constructed was made possible. It's a home to men's and women's basketball and our women's volleyball programs. Kerm and his family attended too many different athletic games and events that to count, really. I ask, how many events did Kerm come to? We don't know. A lot, okay? He chaired our comprehensive fundraising campaign in 2018. He received honorary degree in 2002 from BG and was a member of our board of trustees, serving 2 terms as the chair. And while BGSU, we have incredible, supportive, and amazing alums and extraordinary alums, there's kind of only one Kerm Stro, and we will certainly miss Kerm a great deal. But we have amazing group of athletes and individual athletes here that we are recognizing tonight. Your success here at this institution is nothing less than extraordinary. This recognition is so very well deserved. The Hall of Fame, it's a rich tradition here at Bowling Green State University. We're in the Schmidhorst Heritage Hall, and behind us, and these amazing displays that you see demonstrate the rich heritage of this institution. Our inductees tonight, your fingerprints are all over the record books, the stat sheets, the wins and losses. You have made your imprint and impact, and we are building on the legacy that you have left here. We thank you. We thank you for being here. You make us proud. You make us proud to be a public university for the public good, because you created public good by being here, in my mind. You went out and did amazing things. You were role models, and you inspired people. And we thank you for that. We are proud to compete in the Mid-American Conference and the CCHA and hockey. We're proud to be a Division I athlete competing at the highest level, competing to ensure that each of our students have opportunities to go out and do amazing things. But tonight we honor a group of people who truly inspire us and make us know why here at the university we do the work we do, which is trying to support each one of our student athletes here. We've got great coaches here each and every day working hard to achieve great success. To all the inductees, thank you for being here. We are honored to honor you. Thank you for allowing us to do this. And what do we say here? We say, "Ai Ziggy Zumba." Thank you.
Thank you, President Rogers. At this time, let's welcome up to the podium Interim Director of Athletics and Recreation, Stacy Kosiak.
Good evening. Oh, I love that response. Thank you for joining us tonight as we celebrate the induction of the 2022 BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame class. As President Rogers honored the past, I'd be remiss if I didn't share how your legacies have laid the framework that allows our current athletes to be great in the classroom and in competition. The 2021-22 academic year was a remarkable success for Bowling Green State University. The Falcons experienced historical success on the courts and fields of competition and within the classroom. So I get the honor of sharing some of those bragging points with you tonight. So let's focus first on academics, because they're student athletes. The department achieved a 3.44 cumulative GPA, the highest recorded GPA in the history of BGSU athletics. 80% of our student athletes earned a 3.0. 53% earned a 3.5 cum, and 11% maintained a 4.0 cum GPA. 15 of our 18 teams have a 3.0 or higher, with 12 having a 3.5 or higher. And the highest male program had a 3.62 cum GPA, and the highest female program held a 3.92 cum GPA. Yeah. Additionally, BGSU is the recipient of the 2021-22 MAC Women's Faculty Athletics Representative Academic Achievement Award. Since the inception of this award, BG has won a total of 10 out of the last 15 years and 7 of the last 9 years. So I can honestly say we're dominating that award. Our student athletes have also achieved a graduation success rate of 88%, with 12 of our programs earning single-year perfect score of 100%. So now I want to share some competitive highlights, and these are just a few. As many of my colleagues will tell you, I think in bullet points, so we're going to go through the bullet points. Women's soccer won the MAC championship for the 4th straight season and returned to the NCAA tournament. Men's soccer defeated Louisville in the first round of the NCAA tournament, advancing to the second round. Women's basketball participated in the WBI tournament, placing 3rd with wins over Furman and Nevada. Softball reached the MAC tournament championship round and then went on to participate in the National Invitational Softball Championship, finishing the postseason tournament with a 2-2 record. Women's golf finished 4th at the MAC championships, marking the best finish at a MAC championship in the program's history since the conference added the sport in 1999. Zarisha Neal, who you'll hear later this evening, won the indoor MAC title in the shot put and later was recognized with second-team All-America accolades after finishing 13th at the NCAA championships. She won the MAC outdoor championship in discus and set the program record in the event at the Lynn Paddock Invitational and finished the year with 2 of the program's top 3 all-time distances. Neil also qualified in both his shot put and discus. Kayla Butler won the MAC Outdoor Championship in the hammer throw. It was her second career hammer throw MAC title after winning in 2019. She advanced to the NCAA Championship in Eugene, Oregon, earning second team All-America honors. The quartet of Darian Braddix, Reagan Berkey, Kaylee Perry, and Katarina Schubel won the MAC Indoor Championship in the distance medley relay. And swimmer Daisy Platts won the MAC Championship in the 100-meter backstroke for the third season in a row, qualifying for the NCAA tournament in the 100, 200 backstroke, and the 200 individual medley. She finished number 22 at the NCAA Championships in the 200 backstroke, breaking her own record. Daisy finished her career at BGSU holding the 10 fastest times in both the 100 and 200 backstroke. The success of our student athletes and programs that are experiencing has been built upon the foundation that the members of the Hall of Fame class of 2022 and all of those before have laid. And tonight, we are celebrating their legacy and their transformational impact on Bowling Green State University. To our inductees, thank you for setting the bar so high for future Falcons to dream big and to aspire to leave their own legacy just as you have. Congratulations on your induction into the BGSU Hall of Fame. Isaac.
Falcons, let's meet our first inductee tonight, former Falcon baseball standout, John Bertie. John was a two-time All-MAC first-team selection for Coach Danny Schmitz and the Falcons. Twice he was named the athletic department's Male Athlete of the Year. John helped the Falcons to a MAC regular season title in 2009 and the East Division title in 2010. He had over 350 in each of his 3 seasons, including a school record 423 in 2010. He set the single season mark with 93 hits that year, and he was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in the 11th round of the 2011 Major League Draft. He is currently playing with the Miami Marlins and led the major leagues in stolen bases this season with 41.
Hey, Don Mattingly here in Miami. I just want to congratulate you, John, on your induction into the Hall of Fame at your university. It really has been a pleasure to have you, a guy that's a total professional, working every day. The road that you took to get here is amazing. It shows your perseverance and your love of the game. And you definitely are a credit to that university and the toughness that you bring and the way you play the game.
I think John's going to be remembered for his dedication to the game of baseball, dedication to the university, and dedication to his team. You could tell that early on John really had a true love for the game of baseball, and it showed every single day, whether it was in the weight room, on the field, at practice. John really does have that first in, last out mentality, and he's going to do anything that's going to help himself or the team improve. John recently won the Heart and Hustle Award, and I think there's nothing that more perfectly describes the way John approaches the game of baseball. He's an extremely hard worker, extremely great athlete, and even better person. So congrats, John.
First of all, John, I'd like to say congratulations on being inducted to the Bowling Green State University Athletic Hall of Fame award and recognition that is truly deserved. Through our times at BG, we came in together. We always competed hard against each other, ball, and in the weight room, classroom, anything. I think most of all, you helped make me a better player, better person. It's just something on the baseball field, how you left your mark with, the heart and hustle. It was an award you won with the Marlins this year, but I think that is just something that you exemplified at BG, which made everyone around us play harder, work harder, and I think it showed, 2 MAC championships, competed pretty hard in our junior year, getting drafted, kind of overcoming, a lot of adversity through your time in the minor leagues just to keep persevering. So this is an award, I think, it shows all those achievements kind of come together, and couldn't be prouder, couldn't be happier, and glad to call you one of my best friends. Congrats, John.
Hey, John. On behalf of BGSU Baseball, I want to congratulate you on being inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Your accomplishments here at BGSU, both on and off the field, are second to none. A personal favorite of mine is when you were voted BGSU Top Male Athlete of the Year, both in 2010 and 2011. That's first time in school history. You truly were the best of the best. We are so happy and proud that you're continuing to play baseball and living out a lifelong dream of playing Major League Baseball. Your continued support of BGSU and the baseball program by coming back and sharing your experiences with the team are truly appreciated. When the program needed you most, John, you stepped up to the plate, you helped to gather alumni and friends of the program, and helped to save the program. For that, we truly thank you. And in closing, John, I just wanted to let you know what an honor and a privilege it was for me to be your college baseball coach. You're a lot of fun to watch, truly a coach's dream, and I loved it when you called me Coach Schmitz. So even though I'm not your coach anymore, you can call me Uncle Danny anytime you want. But again, congrats. We are so proud of you, and enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. Go Falcons, go Marlins, and go Hall of Fame.
Falcons, please welcome BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee John Bertie.
Wow, that was a pretty touching video there that I definitely wasn't expecting. So extremely honored and proud to be here. First, I'd like to congratulate all the inductees here tonight. Heck of a group we have here, especially to have a whole team. It's pretty special, and happy to be a part of it. I want to thank the university for having us in this enormous honor. Growing up, I always wanted to play Division I baseball in the hopes to be drafted and make it to the big leagues one day. I didn't get recruited by many schools. Being an undersized kid from Michigan didn't draw in a lot of scouts. But BG gave me the opportunity, and I wanted to take full advantage of it. The experiences and the things that I learned here helped me to achieve all my dreams and more. Obviously, no one can accomplish anything on their own. I want to thank all of my family and friends who were able to make it here tonight. We got a pretty good group here, and each one of you have played a role in helping me get to where I am today. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Jill. Thank you for all the sacrifices you've made to help me to continue to live out my dream. I want to thank my parents, Tom and Betty. Your constant love and support allowed me to believe that I could do anything. I want to thank my two older brothers, Steve and Mike, for continuing to push me. Growing up, I wanted nothing more than to hang out with my older brothers. But if I couldn't keep up with them, they'd send me home. So that was never an option in my mind, so it forced me to become a better athlete a lot quicker. I want to thank the coaching staff, Danny Schmitz, who you saw in the video, my uncle, Spencer Schmitz, my cousin, who was our hitting coach, and Rick Blank, who was our pitching coach, who couldn't be here tonight. Thank you for recruiting me, giving me an opportunity. Thank you for believing in me. All the batting practice that was thrown, all the fungos that were hit helped to develop the skills I needed to succeed at the next level. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank my teammates. We have a couple of them here tonight, Tyler Baslone and Ross Gerdeman. My favorite part of my college experience was the people that I met and the relationships that I created. Some of my closest friends to this day are guys I played with here at BGSU. Thank you again for everything. I'll forever be grateful to be a Falcon. Thank you.
Let's meet our second inductee tonight, a trailblazer in BGSU history, Dr. Jean Campbell. She coached the BGSU swimming and diving team from 1966 to 1977. She was also the Falcons synchronized swimming coach from 1976 to 1978, while serving as a full-time faculty member. Referring to themselves as Campbell's Swimmin' Women and sporting towels monogrammed with good, the Falcons captured 4 consecutive OAISW championships. In all, she led the Falcons to 5 Ohio State championships and 2 Midwest championships. Under her direction, 34 swimmers made appearances at the Nationals. 10 swimmers earned NIAAW All-America honors in 1 or more events between the years of 74 and 77, and 4 of her synchronized swimmers won All-America honorable mention. Her teams won 25 straight dual meets from 1969 to 1974 and had only 1 loss in that 5-year span. In 1978, she led the synchronized swimming team to a 6th place finish at the AIAW Nationals.
Coach Campbell is a legend here. When I first got here and I started reading about her and everything she did for the sport of swimming and diving for Bowling Green and for the state of Ohio, and how she was a pioneer and as a coach, and how she won 25 straight meets in a row and all the championships she did. And I'm so happy and proud for her to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
It was my pleasure to be Jean Campbell's colleague when she taught and coached here in the 60s and 70s. It's also my pleasure to congratulate her on getting into the Hall of Fame. I can't think of anyone who deserves it more. Jean is truly a Renaissance woman. She could do it all. She was a coach, she was a teacher, she was an editor, she was an author, and she was everything else that makes up a Renaissance woman. And it was such a pleasure to know her and to work with her. I remember when her daughter, Debbie, told her that she had been selected for the Athletics Hall of Fame. She got this really puzzled look on her face and said, "Well, that's not why I did it." And that encapsulates Jean's attitude toward her work. She never expected to be praised for it. And Jean, that's why I'm so proud of you on getting into the Hall of Fame. You deserve it, you didn't expect it, but no one deserves it more.
And I started teaching here at Bowling Green in 1955, and then came back again in 1963. And I knew Jean Campbell as a grad assistant and as a faculty member. And when she started as a grad assistant, I knew she was going to go on and get her master's and then her doctorate. She was a very focused person, and she looked you right in the eye and listened to you. And her students actually loved her because she treated them as individuals. And she said each student has a talent, and all they have to do is find it, and then they can perfect it. She was what I would call a coach. And if I were to be an athlete today, I would like a coach like Jean. Congratulations, Jean. We think of you often. Thanks. Thanks for being a friend.
Falcons, please welcome Valerie Newell, who is accepting the award on behalf of Dr. Jean Campbell. Valerie was a swimmer for Coach Campbell from 1971 to 1975, a 3-year co-captain and a 4-time All-American. She also served as chairman of the BGSU University Trustees and currently serves as the trustee for the BGSU Foundation, accepting for Dr. Campbell, Valerie Newell.
Thank you very, very much. I hope you can all see my t-shirt. Okay, so Todd just said to me, "Oh, is that a reproduction?" I went, "No, this is almost 50 years old, and this is stained. It is also stretched out because it was wet a lot. And this is the original, and it says, Campbell's Swimmin' Women." Good, you're showing your age if you know what that means. It's an honor to accept this award for Dr. Jean Campbell. It's been such a long time in coming, a very, very long time. Janet Parks, who for 6 years continued her efforts by nominating Dr. Campbell for this award. And it wouldn't have happened without her. And also Ricky Perkins, who is our current swim coach and was a huge supporter of Jean's and did a lot of research and pushed for what was right. And what was right, what was that Mrs. Campbell, we always called her Mrs. Campbell, that Mrs. Campbell deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Ricky, and thank you, Janet. Now, unfortunately, Dr. Campbell is 98 years old, and she lives in Texas with her family, and she's just too fragile to travel, so she is not able to accept this award herself. So I'm honored to do it on her behalf, and what that means is that I can brag a little bit about her. You know, there's so much to say about this amazing, remarkable woman. Her record, as you just heard, was absolutely stellar. She is the winningest coach in BG history, the winningest coach in BG history. Her teams went undefeated for 4 years straight. She coached the first group of All-American, women All-American athletes at this university. She coached a relay team that broke the national record. She did it on brains, determination, and grace. And she did this while working on her PhD, teaching full-time, and being a wife and a mother. To say the least, she did not need to sleep much. Now, you know people like that. They never seem to sleep much, and they seem to be able to accomplish a lot more than some of us. And that was Jean Campbell. I remember one meet, the Midwest Championships. We were going up against all the powerhouse great teams in the Midwest. The Ohio State University, Michigan, Indiana, the University of Cincinnati. All powerhouses, and several of them had past Olympians on their teams. Now, a couple of us swimmers were sharing a hotel room the night before the meet with Mrs. Campbell. We didn't have much money back then because the university did not fund women athletics through the athletic budget. Title IX had been passed, but didn't quite make it to BG by then. A couple of us, so we were in this room, and Mrs. Campbell, you know, the great thing about her is that she found a way for us to compete at the highest level. So we shared a hotel room, stretched the budget, and sometimes she even used her own money to fund our team and our travel. And in fact, she would wink and go, well, what Harold doesn't know doesn't hurt him. She wanted to make her own money, and she was going to spend it the way she wanted to. That night before the Midwest Championships was an example of what she did to make us a winning team. Other teams might have had Olympians, but what she built our team with was depth. She personally recruited swimmers, not with scholarships, because there were not women allowed scholarships at that time. But she recruited swimmers that fit the profile for success. A lot of good swimmers, a couple of great swimmers, but a lot of depth, and that is why we won, being a team. That night she stayed up until almost 2 a.m. I kept looking at the light was still on in the bathroom. She was in there by herself on the floor, calculating which team would win the meet based on the preliminary heat sheets. Now then, in the morning, she went and did some changes. After her analysis, she made some changes in the lineup and the events to make sure that we could win more points. And you know what? We won that meet. She was so wicked smart, and she was very strategic, and above all, she was very competitive, but always in a graceful, balanced way. Impeccably dressed, never a hair out of place. She was beautiful, and she was always positive and uplifting and always focused on keeping us motivated. You know, she was never in a bad mood. Not that she wasn't intense, she was very intense. But she was never angry, and but when she was angry, it was always in a very purposeful and and determined way, so that she was determined to solve a problem or determined to make things better. She was never angry at us. She taught us that we could get what we wanted as long as we worked hard and we planned for it and was strategic. She trained us in a scientific way. She was a disciple of Doc Councilman, who was the coach back at Indiana in the 70s. And she trained us with interval training and heartbeat training. It was state of the art, and that was one of the reasons why we were so good. She never said something was impossible. We just had to figure out how to do it. For example, in my junior year, we had qualified for the national swim meet, where they would name the All-Americans. But we didn't have the funding to go. So Coach Campbell figured out that there was a special parents fund in the Alumni Association that could be used for travel expenses like that. But as students, we had to be the ones making the grant proposal request. So she helped us put together a proposal, a presentation, and several of us went over to meet with Hofi, Jim Hof, and Larry Weiss, and the two of them gave us the money. We went to nationals, and we were named All-Americans. Mrs. Campbell's winning record was possible because she made it possible for us to compete. In her early years as a coach, the university would not give decent time to the women's team to practice, and practices had to be held after 8 p.m. at night. Now you can imagine that wasn't very good for our training regiment, nor our studies. So in a stroke of strategic brilliance, Mrs. Campbell turned us into a swimming class. And the registrar couldn't help but schedule us at a very prime time in the afternoon for our swim practice, actually before the men were allowed to practice. So geez, do you think, ladies, maybe that was why we were so much better than the men? I'm sorry, Jean would have never said that. We watched Mrs. Campbell never go destructively head-to-head with the university leadership, but instead helped us learn how to craft a convincing case as to why there should be money to fund women athletics. When my teammates and I came to the university, we had swam in high-powered AAU clubs next to Olympians with men and women together, boys and girls together in the same pool. And we got to the university and we looked around at these disparities and we're like, what in the world is going on here? It was like the Dark Ages, but Mrs. Campbell was the light. During our struggle to get funding in the early 70s, she was always quietly by our side. She encouraged us in a very productive, never destructive way, even when we staged a protest in front of the natatorium. One day I went to the BG News. I was always all fired up about it, and to complain about all this unfairness. And the next day, the editor of the BG News, Fred Ortlip, wrote an article which I thought had misquoted me. And he said something that I said that the president said about Title IX. And that afternoon, I got a call from the president's Hollis Moore's office saying that he wanted to see me in his office the next day. Of course, I was terrified. I called Mrs. Campbell in a total panic and told her I'd been called to the president's office. Well, her calm response was, come to my office and we'll figure this out. Well, when I got there, she sat me down, calmed me down, and then together we went through what should I do, how should I act, and how should I prepare. What a wonderful, wonderful coach. I survived that meeting with President Moore, just barely, and we received a big increase in funding for the women's swim team. And Hollis and Marion became big, big fans of ours, coming to all of our meets, and they saw firsthand the results that Mrs. Campbell was achieving. Jean Campbell made champions. She made a name for the university in women's swimming for over a decade. She trained us in the most scientific ways taught us to be competitive, both individually and as a team. She taught us to be ambitious, strong, yet feminine, and to work to get what we wanted. She was an incredibly amazing woman, and she was an incredibly amazing coach, truly deserving of this Hall of Fame honor. Thank you very much.
Falcons, our next inductee is the leading scorer in BGSU basketball history, Lauren Prohaska. Lauren scored 2,290 points while helping the Falcons to 110 wins in her 4 years. She was the MAC Freshman of the Year and was named to the All-MAC second team that season before earning All-MAC first team honors in each of her last 3 years. She was twice named the MAC Player of the Year and was also named the MAC Tournament MVP twice. In addition to scoring, she finished her career as the BGSU leader in numerous other categories, including free throw percentage and three-point field goals made. Lauren led the nation in free throw percentage as a sophomore and set an NCAA record by sinking 70 consecutive free throws in her senior season. She led the Falcons to a 55-9 record in MAC games in her 4 years, and BG won the East Division title all 4 years, making 2 trips to the NCAA tournament. Lauren was one of 13 players named to the All-Anderson team, but the only one to be named to the team while she was still a student athlete at BGSU.
Hi, Lauren. Congratulations on being selected to the Bowling Green Hall of Fame. Incredibly deserving, and I'm thrilled for you and really thrilled for your program. It was my pleasure, and I was so lucky to be able to watch you through your career. You had remarkable teammates, a great leader in Kurt, and you were the dominant program in the Mid-American Conference. It was so much fun to watch you and your teammates because you each had distinctive roles, but at the end of the day, you were the leader of that team. You were the best player on a great team at a great time. And again, it was a lot of fun to watch you, so this is a deserving honor. But I also want to say a thank you, and why this is deserving is really on a personal level. You and your teammates connected with all of Northwest Ohio, and you were terrific representatives of the university and also role models for young women. And even as a dad, you know this, our 2 daughters really looked up to you and your teammates to the point that it's still meaningful to them in that one of them still keeps one of these. So congrats again, and look forward to watching you celebrate.
Hello, I'm Tracy Reiki, formerly known as Tracy Pontius. I had the opportunity to be Lauren's teammate for 4 years, her roommate for 3 years. First off, Lo, congratulations on this award. There's nobody more deserving than you. The type of player I would describe you as is humble, selfless, smooth. I could use other words, but I'll stop there. You were humble on and off the court about your game. You were always willing to make the extra pass. There was nothing fancy about it. You were just smooth. You weren't the most vocal, but we could see it in your eyes in the huddle. It's time to get a stop, time to go get a bucket, make a run. One of the things that stands out was the MAC tournament game against Eastern Michigan. We were on a fast break, and I had the ball. You were trailing. I looked back, and I dropped it behind the back pass to you, and you finished. I can honestly say if it was somebody else, I probably wouldn't have given the ball up, but I knew it was you, and I knew that you would get us those 2 points. You would finish. I had trust in you. So again, Lo, congratulations. Love you dearly, and this is well deserved.
Hi, my name's Kurt Miller, former head coach of Bowling Green State University women's basketball program. So excited tonight to talk about Lauren Prohaska, arguably the best women's basketball player in the history of the school, a prolific scorer who could score at any level, a tremendous three-point shooter, obviously an NCAA record holder for consecutive free throws, but also could get herself to the basket at will. Lauren was a tremendous defender, using her length night in and night out, creating havoc at the defensive end. What you may not know is, quiet as Lauren was with her demeanor, She was one of the most competitive players that I've ever coached. She simply helped raise the level of BGSU women's basketball. Following beyond one of the most successful teams in school history, Lauren continued to help the Falcons soar in the women's basketball national landscape. After coaching now 8 years in the WNBA, I can honestly say that Lauren Prohaska could have and should have played in the WNBA. Congratulations, Lauren. You were incredible to coach, and incredible on and off the floor, and someone that BGSU athletics will always remember.
Falcons, please welcome BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Lauren Prohaska.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here this evening. I must say I feel very fortunate to be here. When Bob made the call for the Hall of Fame inductees, apparently the only phone number he had was my parents' landline number. And when my mother called, he ran into a brick wall and she refused to give him my cell phone number. So I received a text shortly after saying, a Bob called. I think he said he was the athletic director at Bowling Green. He said he's not looking for a donation, but he has good news, whatever that means. When Bob finally reached me later that day, you could tell that he had been put through the ringer. So I'm very sorry for that, but very thankful for my mother. She has passed on her stubbornness to me, her love of the game to me, and just very lucky to have her. When I was a child, she would wait until we got in the car, but she would say, if you're not going to play hard, then don't play at all, because you're not going to embarrass me on the court. So thank you for instilling that work ethic in me, Mother, and making me play hard. To my father, you might not know him, but he was the loudest voice in the arena. I could hear him even over Kurt Miller, which is impressive. I thank him for blocking every shot I took from 3rd grade to 7th grade before I could get one over him. And I thank him for coaching me even when I didn't want him to. But he was very passionate. He spent hours outside playing basketball with me. And then when he was done playing with me, he would lock the door and tell me I had to make 100 free throws before I'd come inside. So I guess that's why I probably have the free throw record now. So thank you, Dad. To my 2 older brothers, they couldn't be here this evening, but so thankful to them for instilling a toughness in me. I used to think my oldest brother came to watch me, but he ended up marrying my athletic trainer, so I'm pretty sure he came to watch her, not me. And my other brother, he has stepped foot on this campus one time. He is a Notre Dame alumni, and he came to the game that we played Notre Dame, snuck in early in the first half, sat in the Notre Dame section, cheered for them the entire time. And that sums up our relationship. But he is the one that toughened me up and made me what I am today. So I'm very thankful for my family. I would not be here without them. To my teammates, you saw Tracy up there, one of my best friends, one of the best players I've ever played with. Someday I look forward to being here in the crowd when she's inducted into the Hall of Fame. But truly, I get a lot of accolades because I scored a lot of points, but I would not be here without them. Dribbling the ball, passing the ball, taking charges, those were not my strong suits. So truly, we were successful because of the team, not because of me. So it was a team effort, and just so thankful to have them and the bond that we had, and some of my best friends for life. So really love all of them. To my coaches, Kurt, thank you for showing up tonight. The first time I stepped foot on this campus, I fell in love. I knew I wanted to be here, but I saw how competitive he was, so I made him work for it. So it took about 10 visits, made him come to a lot of my basketball games before I finally gave him the answer yes, that I wanted to be at Bowling Green, I wanted to be a Falcon, and it was the best decision I've ever made. He coached us so hard, but at the end of the day, I knew how much he cared, how much he loved us. And I've taken that on throughout my life and throughout my career, that when someone believes in you, you can do so much more than you ever thought you could. So thank you, Kurt. To Mo, who is also here tonight, We came in the same year. She was here my freshman year. She's always called me her child. She's always said that I was evil, and that's why she loved me, but it's because I was just super competitive. I always had a hard time breaking in my new shoes, and I always tell everyone the story. I'd come into practice when my shoes were getting raggedy, and she would have my new ones on, running around the gym, shooting jump shots, getting them ready to go. So thank you, Mo. You kind of did everything for the team, everything for the players, and I couldn't have done it without you. To the fans, truly, Anderson Arena was the greatest place to ever play a basketball game. If you were feeling down, if you were feeling sluggish, you walked in that gym and you heard the roar, and it just energized you. And truly, I think the best arena and the best fans around, and I haven't been anywhere like it. So I love the Stro Center. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how much Kerm meant to the university, to me as an individual, and to many students here. For him to build this place and contribute so much to this university. He's a special person. And finally, to all my friends who are here, my coworkers, my former boss, thank you for showing up. They didn't meet me till after Bowling Green, but they've truly embraced this place and embraced me, so thank you to all of you. I came here for my love of basketball, to continue the opportunity to play that. I had no idea how much I'd fall in love with this university and the people here, and truly it became a home to me. If I could do it all again, I'd do it exactly the same, and I think that says a lot. So thank you for welcoming me home. Thank you for this honor. It's great to be back.
Falcons, our next inductee, a special inductee, Kerm Stro. Kerm helped found Molten Gas Service with his father Elmer Stro in Wapakoneta in 1958, and it was his commitment to expanding the company that first brought him to the BGSU campus in the early 1960s. As a way to gain radio advertising for his fledgling propane gas company, Kerm provided color commentary at regional basketball games for Worm FM, a Wapakoneta-based radio station. For his radio hook, he was known as Kerm from Worm. And while at BGSU for the games, he was treated so kindly that he maintained his connection to the university. He became one of the university's most vocal supporters, sent 2 of his daughters to BGSU, and eventually served on the Board of Trustees. In 2008, Kerm and his family announced an $8 million gift to the university to support the construction of the Convocation Center, now known as the Stro Center, as well as funds for intercollegiate athletics and the Kermit and Mary Lou Stro Scholarship Fund for students from Auglaize, Hardin, Logan, Mercer, and Shelby counties. In addition to his stint on the BGSU Board of Trustees from 1993 to 2002, he also served as chair of the Academic and Student Affairs Committee and co-chaired the Athletics Capital Campaign from 2008 to 2011. Among his many honors and accolades, Kerm earned an honorary doctorate from BGSU in 2002 and was named a BGSU honorary alumnus in 2003.
Kerm was kind, generous, and faithful. His passion for BG is seen all over campus, and especially in the Stro Center, which our student athletes have this incredible opportunity every day to play in. One of our favorite phrases in our program is, "It's Stro good to see you, Kerm," and I hope you know that the impact you made here will last a lifetime. Congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved, and I hope you know that we will miss seeing you dearly up in the stands, but your legacy and your passion for BGSU will live on forever. Thanks for everything.
Kerm, congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Remember us talking on the phone for hours about our new team and new players, and you coming over to practice and watching us practice, and the guys getting a chance to meet you and know who you are. I played here at Anderson Arena, and it was a great venue to play in. The Stro Center is a great venue, great home court advantage, named after a great person. So thank you for all you've done for Bowling Green basketball and Bowling Green athletics.
Kerm Stro's induction into the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame is a testament to the impact that he's had on so many student athletes and coaches. He's lived a life of significance. He will be missed greatly, but his legacy will live forever. Kerm, thank you for everything you've done for BGSU athletics, and thank you for giving BGSU volleyball a beautiful home that we call the Stro Center.
It is a real honor to be a part of this video honoring the induction of Kerm Stro to the Bowling Green State University Athletics Hall of Fame. As a special inductee, Kerm has certainly left his mark on Bowling Green State University athletics, but on our university as well. Kerm, as you know, was a two-term chair of our Board of Trustees. He was passionate about Bowling Green. He was passionate about our athletics. He was passionate about our academic programs. And most importantly, he was passionate about student success, whether on the court or in the classroom or on the field. And the Stro Center, a magnificent facility that is on the front step and the front door of our university. We are so proud to have Kerm's name on the outside of that building. We are thankful for his support, his leadership. I will miss his wise counsel, his great sense of humor, and all of his ideas about how we get and need to be better each and every day. On behalf of the university, congratulations, Kerm. I will so miss you. We will all miss you, but your legacy lives on. Izigi Zuba.
Falcons, please welcome Kerm's son-in-law and a Falcon himself, Van Wright, to the podium to accept on Kerm's behalf.
Vocal. You said vocal. He sure was. If you were an umpire or a referee, get ready. He's coming after you. So he was certainly vocal. Thank you for those videos, coaches, and President Rogers. It's great to be here on behalf of Kerm. We wish he was here, but it was a long life, well lived. When we spoke 4 weeks ago about this event, Kerm and Marion asked me to be here for him on anyway. It was slowing down just a little bit. I said, Kerm, I'm honored to be here. No problem at all. I worked with him directly for 26 years at our company. And you talk about wise counsel. He gave me some bad counsel too, but some wise counsel. We had a great time over our 26 years. I mean, every day. We had fun. But he loved nothing more other than his family than this school. This school. He loved it. There's no other phrase for it. He had a lot of fun. While he was here, thoroughly enjoyed it. I did a eulogy on Sunday at his Celebration of Life funeral at his church in Trinity Lutheran Church in Moulton. I don't know how many people have been in Moulton. Some of you were at the service. Thank you very much. Moulton has about 100 people in it. Kerm was born in that village, raised his kids in that village, was baptized, confirmed in that church, worked with his father in the general store on the corner and started our propane gas business, he and his dad, on the very last dime they had, and grew it into the largest family-owned propane company in the Midwest and one of the largest in the country. I was honored to work with him for 26 years. But I spent a lot of time at Bowling Green events with this guy. I mean, a lot of them. And he could plan a lot of stuff. For example, in 2004, we were playing Oklahoma, number 2 team in the country in football. Kerm said, Van, we got to get this trip organized. Now, we worked hard. Saturday morning, we would come to work. We worked every Saturday, literally every Saturday for 26 years we worked as propane gas business. So he'd say, right, he told me, right, you got to be at the airport at 9 o'clock. Got it, Kerm. We're flying out of New Knoxville, chartering a plane. That's why you work, John, right? I mean, you work to do that stuff. So we were working hard. We flew out, took off, and he had everything down to the minute going into Norman. About halfway through the flight, we're coming up here to pick up our son, Alex, who's a student body president here at the time, and a couple other BG people, ready to head on to Norman then. So we're on this leg up here, and the co-pilot turns and says, Kerm, I think he said, Mr. Stro, there's one detail that you didn't let us know about. What kind of car do you want to meet you at the Norman, Oklahoma airport? And Kerm said, you get on that radio, You tell those guys to bring us the biggest limo they have. We're going to let those boys know we mean business in Oklahoma, baby. So much fun. We got in that limo. We drove up there to the Norman Gate, the big stadium, baby. Here we are. We're like Gate Z. Limo guys rolls down the window about this far. Oklahoma cop says, come on. Pretty soon we're going through every single gate. We get right up next to the stadium. And the Oklahoma police open the car, and out come all these orange-clad people. I think they thought it was the governor, but by gosh, it was us. We lost the game, but we played great. We played great. I can remember to this day so much. And Kerm can replay those games and all those kinds of events. But as I said at the funeral, there was one moment in time and when Kerm almost lost all opportunity for this honor, and that was in 1988, Coach Miller, at St. Joseph, Pennsylvania, where we were playing the NCAA women's game. Yeah, we got the women over in St. Joe, first round. If you've ever been to St. Joe's facility, it's about as big as a bandbox, at least it was at that time. Very tough place to play. So again, we flew in there because that's what we're going to do. We flew in. In fact, Tracy was with me, his oldest daughter there. Thank goodness I met you in '74, Tracy. That's how I got here, in case you didn't know that story. But anyway, we flew into Philadelphia. We got to the game. Game starts. 7 fouls called on us in the first 3 minutes. We got 2 starters on the bench there in a 1-on-1. Kerm is going out of his mind on every call. He is getting louder on every single call. Halftime comes. I'm thinking, boy, I got to calm Kerm down now. He's got to settle down now. Sure enough, the referees are exiting the building right next to our row. He's 4 rows from the floor, and here come the refs. And he is on them. I mean, he's going. I'm thinking, oh boy, oh boy. Kerm starts moving down the stands. 3rd row, 2nd row, 1st row. So I reach out and grab him by the belt and pull him back. And he always said, right, you saved me right there. Who knows what I would have done. Kerm didn't like those referees. He had a lot of fun. He didn't set any records, but he wanted me to apologize. He said some weeks ago, make sure Prohaska knows that I'm sorry I went to the bathroom on that 71st foul shot. She might have made 170 in a row if Kerm hadn't left his seat. He apologizes to you. So that's how that works. And John Bertie up here, he said, isn't that the guy that every time he hit a ball into the grass, it was a triple? I said, yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, it's a triple. Just put him on 3rd. So that's how he went. And Valerie Newell is a very good friend. Valerie accepting for Dr. Campbell, incredible. I know how much he enjoyed being around you. And this track team, again, it's not one man, it's a whole team that finished 2nd. But Dave Wallow, we've watched that tape 4,000 times together. We never get tired. Kerm would never get tired of the 800-meter race. He loved it. So he loves his players. He loves his school. Absolutely. This building was built, and people have thanked Kerm and the family for this. We appreciate it. One of Kerm's biggest things was not the 3 sports in here where we win, and by gosh, we do, but graduation. Graduation. He was in here for many of those events when he was on the board or in ceremonial ways. He was here for many of those. I work at the university now after the business was sold, and I go to every graduation because I told Kerm I would. Big day for everybody. So he loved that part of things. He really, really did. The thing that stands out for me in terms of Kerm's relationship with this building, well, a couple things. First of all, I was there. We sold the business. We're talking about all these things, but was the day the gift was announced was at Anderson Arena, and Mary Lou, his late wife, was in a wheelchair for that announcement. She died 2 or 3 or 4 months later, something like that. 3 months later. Thank you, Tracy. And Big Oldest Polk, our big center at the time, came over and gave her a big hug. And this guy's huge, huge human being. Gave her a big hug. I'll never forget it. Greatest picture ever. Kerm loved that. He loved that. Later on with Mary Ellen, celebrating this building. Absolutely tremendous. He was a Falcon through and through. In fact, the very, very last conversation I had with him, he called our house all the time because he wanted to talk about games, win or lose, although mostly he would complain if we lost, but big fan if we won. And just before he passed, we played Marshall over here and beat Marshall in football. Because, again, this is his building, but it's all 18 sports with Kerm. It's all 18. They're all valuable. So he loved football, and he called from his Harbor Springs, Michigan home just a couple days before he passed and said, right, let's go through that game. And he would replay, literally play after play. I mean, and he'd call back and do it again. Not because he was senile, I just want to talk about it. He loved it. His very last thing he said to me was, "Wright, you tell Coach Leffler that number 12 needs a little more time. He's quite a player." "Where's he from, Wright?" Because he knows I recruit all of them. I said, "That's our sophomore linebacker, J.B. Brown. Kerm, he's from Arkansas, sophomore." He says, "You tell Coach, put him in the lineup a little bit more." So I got to tell Coach tomorrow, make sure he does that. I think JB's okay. I think we know how to who to play. But it was just a wonderful time to be around Kerm. I mean, during this process. I mean, last story, my good friends to the north here playing that team, and we come out after the game. We got Tracy here, my wife, Kerm, Mary Lou's home watching our kids in Wapakoneta. Kerm comes out and he goes, "Look there, Wright." I said, "What happened, Kerm?" He says, "Your license plates are stolen." Because we have Go BG on our license plates. We've had them for about a zillion years on our car. And they stole the license plates right off my car. Kerm loses his mind. He's got his other car, but he loses his mind. He goes, "Wright, we got to get over to the police station right now. Get to the I'll drive you over there with Tracy, and we'll get to the bottom of this." Okay. So we drive over to the University of Toledo police station. We get there. Tracy says, "I got to call home. We got to make sure Mom is taking care of the kids, knows we're going to get home late." So Tracy calls. I can see it like today. She goes, "Mom, Kerm and Van are at the University of Toledo police station." Before she said one more thing, Mary Lou goes, "Which one of them did it?" That's a summary of Kerm, Stro. I want to thank everybody. I want to congratulate all these inductees. This is a great group. Every group is great. This is a great group. I want to thank everyone for your kind thoughts and prayers during this last couple of weeks also. It's been tough. I've given a couple of these eulogy-style things. It is not easy to do, but when you have a father-in-law like Kerm Stro, you can do it. Because everything he did indeed, as President Rogers said, with passion. With passion. So just live your life that way. When you walk by here, remember it. Every single kid I bring in here for an admissions tour, we start here. We don't start at admissions, great things there. We start right here. And we talk about graduation. That's the legacy that Kerm left us. We're going to keep cheering. We're going to keep going. Isaac Zumba, baby.
Falcons, last but certainly not least, tonight is one of the greatest teams to ever compete in the orange and brown, the 1972 indoor track and field team. The team posted a national runner-up finish at the NCAA Indoor Championships, powered by Dave Waddle, who would earn an Olympic gold medal several months later, and Sid Sink, and coached by the legendary Mel Brote. The Falcons made the short trip north to Cobo Arena in downtown Detroit. BG picked up a team total of 18 points at the national meet on March 10th and 11th, 1972. The Falcons tied Michigan State for second place, finishing just 1 point behind national champion USC. Waddle won the national championship in the 880 yards, while Sink captured the national crown in the 2-mile event. The distance medley relay team of Craig McDonald, Ted Farver, Sink, and Waddle also won a national title.
The 1972 team was obviously before my time here at Bowling Green, since I was only 1 year old when they were NCAA indoor runner-up. But much about that team just means a lot about Bowling Green to me. Very good team, and it was more than just Dave Waddle and Sid Sink, the two big stars on that team. There were dozens of supporting characters, and it was more than just the indoor season. Just a few months earlier, they were 7th at the NCAA cross-country championships. Outdoors, they were MAC champions. They're the very first team other than Miami or Western Michigan to ever win that. And then, of course, Waddle went on to great success in the summertime. And it was many, many different kinds of people on that team that have gone on to do great things in their community. Bowling Green's the kind of school where we all go on, most of us go on, to end up playing a big role in our community. People who became teachers, coaches, community leaders, people like Bob McComber, who's been a leader in the community right here in Bowling Green for decades. And people like Sid Sink, who ended up dedicating his entire career to Bowling Green. So really, what that team means to me is the best of what Bowling Green has to offer.
To be in any Hall of Fame twice, it's the first Hall of Fame I've ever been in twice. You know, usually you get into the Hall of Fame and that's it. You're in the Hall of Fame. So it's very special to be in there multiple times. And like I say, once as an individual, but then more importantly, I think once with a team. And there's not that many teams, I don't think, that are in the BG Hall of Fame. So to have our team be one of those really select few that are being honored in the Hall of Fame really makes it even more special.
Falcons, please welcome the 1972 indoor track and field team. Accepting the award on behalf of the team are Sid Sink and Ed Watkins.
Introduce the ones that made it here. We'd have liked to have gotten a lot more. We would have liked to have gotten a lot more here, but this is 50 years ago. So we got as many as we could. And as I said, I want to just introduce. I'm doing them in alphabetical order, so when I read your name, raise your hand up, okay? Don Kuchar, Steve Danforth, Tracy Elliott, Luke Fullenkamp, Bob Jones, Craig McDonald, Bob McComber, Dave Olson, Sid Sink, Jim Spears, Dan Thomas, Bruce Vermilia, Ed Watkins, Gary Whitaker, and Dave Waddle. Those are in alphabetical order. First to speak will be Ed Watkins, our captain.
Good evening. As captain, on behalf of the 1972 indoor track team, we want to thank you for this tremendous honor. I was on the team from 1968 to 1972, and when I think back, I recall that a serious period in America. There was the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy, John Carlos and Tommy Smith, black glove raised at the '68 Olympics, but we showed up for practice. Civil rights, civil unrest in America, the anti-war protests surrounding the war in Vietnam, but we showed up for practice. Kent State Massacre, the military draft, despite all of that, we ran, we traveled, and that's what made us. Our grit, our commitment, our talent even carried over into the 1972 outdoor season by winning Bowling Green State University's first, and to this date, only men's MAC track and field championship in school history. Hopefully they get track back and somebody else will get a chance to do it. But it wasn't all serious. In fact, I got a Dave Waddle story. We were at the Kentucky Relays in 1972. They gave away wristwatches for the winning relay teams. And I've been eyeballing these watches all day. Okay? I ran the second leg in the sprint medley relay, And when I got the baton for the second 220, I pulled us back into first place and handed the baton off to Dave Waddle. I picked up my stuff and headed to the trophy table. The lady at the table asked me what I wanted. I said, I'm here to pick up them watches. She says, but the race isn't over. I smiled back at her and said, it will be in about a minute. That's Dave Waddle running anchor leg. I'll wait. She gave me a serious side eye later when we're laughing, walking away with those watches in our hand. That was in 1972, track and field at Bowling Green State University. A wonderful time, believe me. Thank you.
Okay, I want to congratulate all the other inductees also. It's a great group to be inducted with. I would also like to thank the Athletic Department and the Hall of Fame Committee for this honor. We had more than 60 members on the team, with head coach Mel Brote and assistant coach Lloyd Crable. I would like to start with reading a short note that Jane Brote put on an email last week. She is 96 years old and living in Venice, Florida. She said, I wish Mel could have been here to share your honors. He would be so proud to see you all recognized. Congrats for a well-deserved honor. I talked to her this week, and I'm happy to say that she is fine and her home did not get damaged by the hurricane. Okay, this team was truly not only talented, but a very cohesive team. This team really worked together. It wasn't just a few of us, it was the whole team. Our coaches and our captain worked hard to make sure all team members were a part of the team. It is hard with track teams because you have 4 groups. You have a sprint hurdle group, you got a jumper group, a thrower group, and a distance group, all working out separately in completely different workouts. But this togetherness that this team had, I believe, helped this team become as good as it was. I want to talk a little bit about the indoor NCAA Track and Championships. Were always held at Cobo Hall in Detroit back then, with a 10-lap to the mile board track. The crowd was close to the track, and it was always a very exciting meet. It was a meet that was very difficult to qualify for and very hard to get athletes into the finals. We were represented in 3 finals, Dave Waddle in the 880, myself in the 2-mile and the distance medley relay of Craig McDonald, Ted Farver, myself, and Dave. We won all 3 events. Even though this was an NCAA championship, when we handed off to Dave with the leaders in the relay, we started quietly celebrating. Even though it's an NCAA, because he never lost when he was close to the lead with an anchor, just like Ed did in the Kentucky relays. We finished in a tie for second with Michigan State, 1 point behind USC. Okay, later that year, as Ed mentioned, at the Outdoor Track Championships that spring, we won the championship. I was a graduate assistant by then, so I wasn't eligible anymore. But the MAC track at that time was one of the strongest conferences in the nation. We had 21 athletes score points, 21, not just a few, and scored in every area and almost every event. Our top 3 point scorers in this meet were Dave Fagley, a hurdler sprinter, Ed Watkins, a sprinter, and Dave Waddle. We won by 3 points, so we needed everybody to pull together to win that meet. I want to mention the kind of year that our coach Mel Brote had in 1971-72. We finished 7th at the NCAA Championships in cross country. We finished 2nd at the Indoor NCAA Championships, and Mel was voted NCAA Men's Indoor Track Coach of the Year in the nation. We won the MAC Outdoor Track Championships, and Mel was voted MAC Men's Track Coach of the Year. And then that summer, Dave Waddle set the world record in the 800 meters at the Olympic trials and won the gold medal in the 800 meters at the Olympic Games. That's a heck of a year for a coach. Also, Dave had a heck of a year. So, the 15 team members that are here are honored to accept this award for the 60-plus team members and 2 coaches. To be named as one of only, I thought it was 3 teams, but somebody said 4, to be inducted into the Bowling Green State Athletic Hall of Fame is something to be proud of, and one that we will always remember. Thank you very much. Is this yours? Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we want to welcome all of our inductees up to the podium for a group picture. The picture will be with Dr. Chet Hessen, Senior Associate AD for Student Athlete Experience. Again, we need all of our inductees to come up to the podium for a group photo and the unveiling of the 2022 Hall of Fame plaque.
Congratulations. Nice to meet you.
Either side, just circle around. This is where we're going to go right here.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Right here.
I wasn't as good of a runner as you guys.
A lot quicker, though. A lot quicker. Yeah. Everybody see it? Close to it?
Okay.
All right. Congratulations, Hall of Fame class. 20, so knock it off. 2022.
Thank you. Pictures? Looks like a lot of pictures.
Take a pen out.
Okay. Thank you.
Falcons, at this time we want to welcome up a student athlete to address the gathered folks here today. I want to welcome Zarisha Neal to the podium. Zarisha is a thrower on the BGSU track and field team, and her work in the classroom and the throwing circle are unparalleled. She hails from Findlay. Zarisha is the second team All-American, having finished 13th last year in the shot put, and has won multiple MAC championships in both the shot put and discus. As a school record holder, has earned a BGSU undergraduate degree, and is currently a 4.0 MBA student, an academic all-MAC performer, and the 2022 recipient of the National Chi Alpha Sigma Award given to the top scholar athlete within this prestigious college athletics National Honor Society. Falcons, please welcome Zarisha Neal.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zarisha Neal. Good evening, alumni, donors, and my fellow Falcons. I would like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to officially induct the inductees into the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame. I am both honored and flattered to be asked by Chet Hessen to present such a prestigious award. Both athletes and coaches make a daily commitment to each other in their sport. These individuals have established a legacy that will always be both remembered and honored. Through their accomplishments, they have created a team environment that breeds hard work, dedication, and sacrifices. It is appropriate to recognize that an Olympic gold medalist mindset is a good foundation of what it takes to have a championship attitude. This individual was in last place at the beginning of the race. He took one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and made the decision not to only finish the race, but win the race. This is a true testament to having a championship mindset. The road will often be difficult to travel, But it's through those difficulties that athletes will one day become the champions that we are celebrating today. We are 18 sports, one team. BGSU Athletics is in the business of creating a positive team environment through connecting with other teams such as baseball, basketball, swimming and diving, and track and field, along with the other 15 sports at BGSU. Every day, we are inspired by the past achievements of those that push themselves to achieve greatness, earned all MAC first team, obtained state championships, broke school records, and fought for an Olympic gold medal. Without the dedication from the coaching staff, the athletes, we would have achieved this magnitude of greatness at a collegiate level. These individuals exemplify the qualities that it takes to be a Falcon through their remarkable performances. The history of BGSU athletics proves that the outstanding athletes scored 18 points at the national meet in 1972, sent an individual to the Olympics, captured a national crown in the 2-mile event, won the championships in the DMR, obtained 5 state championships, 2 Midwest championships, and earned all MAC achievements. Has left us to celebrate the success story that continues to breed a team environment of triumph. Please join me in introducing the inductees as they take their last victory lap through the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame. Isaac Izumba and Go Falcons.
What a great evening. I want to again congratulate John and Lauren, Dr. Campbell, Kerm, and our 72 indoor track team on their inductions tonight, celebrating BGSU excellence. So hope you'll join us tomorrow at the football game. They'll be recognized during the football game as well as the Falcons take on Buffalo at noon. And we continue to celebrate the best of what it means to be a Falcon. As Falcon greats, you new inductees will forever be enshrined and listed as some of the best who have ever represented this great university. Congratulations once again, and thanks to everyone for joining us here tonight. Isaac Izumba.